Hello, I'm Aidan Swan. Welcome to Ink for Artists, where I review ink from the point of view of an artist. Today, we are starting this first episode with Mont Blanc Mystery Black, which was my first ink ever, and I think that it's a fantastic ink for a first-time ink painter. You can see that my bottle's a little bit knackered. It's really been around the block, which is a statement as to how hardy these bottles are. They're absolutely incredible and beautiful. Now, Mystery Black is a purple black. It's not black. It has a base of purple with a little bit of turquoise, and it is absolutely beautiful to work with. So first up, we are going to test wet on wet. After that, we're going to test wet on dry. What I'm doing there is just painting on some ink to dry so that it can dry while we test the wet on wet. It is a very slow drying ink, so you do need to take your time with it. You can immediately see that pull with the turquoise coming out first. The purple only really comes out after it's dried and settled. So it is an ink that you need to be a bit patient with. Take your time, relax. Over here you can see the chromatography, where what I do is I put a dot of ink on some tissue and some water to see how it pulls the shades out. And you can see all of those lovely purples, pinks and turquoises coming out. Now you can see when it's bruised back with the tissue, it lifts very, very well. And what is left when it lifts is that bit of pink that you saw in the chromatography, which does, in the dry ink, usually settle down to a lilac. This is such a fantastic ink because it's water-based and water-soluble. You can move it and rework it long after it's dried and you're finished. So it always gives you the option of reworking, and it's so smooth. You immediately know where you're going with it. For me, the only issue with this ink is that it's not light fast, or not very light fast. If you put your work in the sun, it will fade, and it will fade quite badly. But that's a minor. I mean, you can spray it with a UV protector, or preferably just keep your work out sun, which you should be doing anyway. Now, my favorite way of working with it is actually to use a piece of paper, the same paper I'm going to be painting on as a palette. And I put a piece of ink that is dried, let it dry on the paper, and then I re-wet that and I use it almost like watercolors, as you see me doing there. And with that, you can get your full range of pale purple greys. And you can see on this palette that's a few days dry, how the ink does dry back to all of those lilacs. You do keep the turquoise where it does come through, and you'll get from black all the way through to the palest lilac grey. All in all, I would say, yes, it's not cheap, but it's so worth it. That bottle that I've got has lasted me quite a number of years. It lasts forever. I mean, those colours are so rich that you don't need very much of it. So now, sit back, enjoy, and I'm going to paint a raven for you, because doing a painting is the best way of showing off an ink. And at the end, I will show you exactly what that all looks like once it's settled. Through this painting, you can see pretty much my method of working, where I use the paper palette and wet and re-wet and go back and forth working in layers with shading. You can see all of the shading coming through. I hope that this video has been helpful to you and helped you to decide whether this ink will work for you or not. As I said, I think that if you are someone who's planning to start ink painting, I think that this is a perfect place to start. And I hope that if you do decide to give it a try, that you enjoy it. Please let me know in the comments what you think, and thanks for watching.